smells disgusting. They're putting down new dirt, like mulch, for the new plants for this spring, and it just smells really gross. Hi everyone! Today's video is going to be about my freshman year experience, and this Friday, yesterday, was actually the last day of classes, and starting from Monday and that week will be exam week. And I'm lucky enough not to have any actual having to go in and do testing. One test is going to be done online. Another test is a take-home exam that I got yesterday, and I'm supposed to go in to hand it in because there needs to be a formal face-to-face type of meeting. But I actually only need to go in for one thing, which is my US politics class and the final debate. But yeah, I think I'm going to jump right into, I guess, the do's and don'ts of what I learned freshman year. Okay, just to start off, I'm going to talk a little bit about my personality. I'm quite a shy person. I'm very reserved, and it takes a while for me to open up to someone. And I'm not this way at all when I'm with my friends. I mean, they're people that I'm comfortable with. I've known them for a long time, so obviously my behavior will be different. But regarding my behavior towards new people, I am very I don't know what to do with myself type of situation. It's different for me at camp because I've had so much time to perfect my strategy because I've been going as a counselor, and also because they're younger children, and I find it easier to interact with younger children, whereas with older people or people my age, I just get really awkward. So being a shy person was very difficult coming into a dorm setting because I knew that this was a new place where I had to make friends. There are people that I went to high school with who attend my college right now, but they were more like acquaintances, people that I said hello to passing by in the hallways in high school, and now I say hi to them when I see them in the dining hall, but otherwise they aren't quite people that I hang out with. So I found it really helpful and important to keep your door open, at the beginning of the year, for the first week or the first month or something, whenever you're in the room. It doesn't matter what you're doing. I mean, if you're changing or out of the shower, obviously you can close it, but if you're just doing your work or watching a show, you can just sit on your bed, leave your door open, and it shows people that you are open to them coming in and saying hello and having just a casual conversation. And a lot of people did that. My roommate and I only did that actually for a couple of days because it seemed that people on the floor had already created their group of friends. But because we didn't keep our door open for long, another point that I had, which I actually have written down in my list right here, is to say hi to people. And it's so much more important to do this when it's people that you are in the same class with. If you see them in the hallway, at the beginning of class when you sit down, say, hey, or, hey, what's up? How are you doing? How's your day? And even to people who live on your floor, if you run into them in the bathroom, say hello, make small talk, I like your jeans, I like your glasses. Simple things like that can go very far because it shows people that, you're not neglecting them and that you do notice them and you're open to talking. I think it was the first day. One girl actually went door to door and she had, I think, homemade cookies, and she passed them around and she introduced herself and she said, hi, this is my name, I live in this room, and feel free to say hi to me anytime. Have a cookie. And it was just a more direct way of introducing yourself to make sure that people know who you are. You can get to know people that way as well. Another way to make friends is to definitely attend the student organization fair that occurs at the beginning of every semester. And I did attend both. I had no idea what I was going to be jumping into. I wanted to be able to join clubs that I was interested in. And so I went, even if I wasn't good at a sport or, I had never heard of something before, but it struck an interest in me, I went, wrote down my email, heard what they had to say, read their little board, and listened as they presented what their organization was about. And because you write down your email, you're added to their email list, and they send you an email about when the first event is going to be, what they're about, what their plans are for the rest of the semester. And they usually have weekly meetings, at least, and you have the choice of attending them or not. You can always opt out. You don't have to go to every single club that you had signed up for. I mean, you can go at the beginning just to see what it's about, see what you like more, and you can always opt out if you don't like it or don't think that you have the time for that many clubs. And also, if you find a club or a club sport that you end up being very dedicated to and you go to every weekly meeting or practice and things like that, that's also a really great way to make friends. It doesn't matter if you don't know anybody on that team or in that group in the beginning, because as long as you keep going and you're a familiar face to someone, you say hi to them, then you can start to build a friendship from there. As for studies, I am an undecided major, meaning that I don't have a set major. And that gave me the freedom to sign up for any kind of class that I wanted in any kind of major that I was interested in. And I took an interest in politics mostly, and there was the environmental studies class that I really liked. But I'm sure this does not apply to everyone because I know there are people who are very overwhelmed with schoolwork at times. But from my experience, my high school was quite a rigorous place. It taught at a college level from the beginning. They were they pushed on a lot of work and they prepared me a lot for college. I mean, I hated that while I was attending high school, but I can see that they really prepared me. Because coming to college, I have never once been overwhelmed by the workload at all. The workload that I got in high school was so much less than what I receive now in college. And I thought about this a lot, and I was assuming it was because I don't have a major yet, and maybe because I'm taking all different sorts of classes, I haven't received that overwhelming amount of work. But midterms came around, finals have come around, and I have yet to feel extremely overwhelmed. And I talked to this about someone, and they said maybe it's because you're just always so on top of your work. And I mean, I like to think that I am, but I'm not gonna lie, there are days where I don't do my work or I wait to write my essays the day before. Because let's be honest, the majority of people do that. But because I'm a very organized person and I have a planner like this, I write down everything that I have to do. All these assignments that I have, I write them in advance. Always. I write down times of club meetings. I write down when I have floor meetings, floor or school events that are going on campus. And if I don't get to them that day, I write them down for the next day as well, especially if it's something that I need to get done. Teachers will not always warn you when something is due every single class, so it's very important, to me at least, to write down and know when things are due. Also, because I don't have every class every single day like I almost did in high school, and I have them usually every other day, I didn't immediately have to do my work after class for that day. I could wait to do it the next day. Like for my Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes, I could finish the day on Monday and prepare to do my homework for Tuesday, and on Tuesday night I would prepare to do my homework for my Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes. Or I would do my work, some of the work of my Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes that night, so then I don't have to worry about doing something on Tuesday and I could have my own time and watch movies if I wanted to. As for testing, especially during midterms and finals week, sometimes I found it helpful to form study groups with people, and we would meet at a certain time in the library and create study sheets and share them together and test each other on what the material is going to be. Otherwise, I am an independent person and I don't like to study with other people. Sometimes I find it distracting, unless people are focused, which I did find helpful with the study group. But I find that even in the quiet areas in the library that I needed to just be by myself and in my own space where I knew all my things were. Because of this, I usually like to study in my room, and it was helpful that my roommate liked to study in the library or was never really in our room for the most part, so I had a lot of time to myself, a lot of quiet time, and if she was here, she would pop in earphones sometimes, or I would pop in earphones myself and put on some classical music for myself from Spotify because I find that songs with words were more distracting to me. Also, if my roommate was in my room and I just found her to be too distracting, I could always go down to the lounge in our dorm, and it was always really helpful if no one was there because then I could use the space to myself. I know that it was going to be quiet. But for the most part, I do like to study in my room because I have all my stuff right there in front of me. I don't have to freak out about where anything is going to be, and I'm definitely more comfortable being in my room. My next topic is organization, and that is such a big thing for me because I like to be very organized. I have like everything categorized, like my closet, for example. I have it categorized by types of clothing. So I would have my jackets in the back. I would have my flannels together, my sweaters and my pullovers would be separated, and my dresses would be in one category. And same with my dresser, I would have the top for my undergarments, my socks, things like that, the second drawer just for shirts, and on and on. I like to stay organized. That way I don't need to rush in the morning and look for everything, and I know which drawer it's going to be in instead. Also, as for trash, I don't like it to pile up, and so I would make weekly trips or pile my garbage in one place and somewhere that I'm always going to see it. That way I know that I need to throw it out. And I don't like to waste that space in my garbage can either, so I wait till it's filled to the top, look for other things on my desk that I need to throw out, push it in, bundle it up, grab all my garbage, and head outside to throw everything out. I don't like garbage piling up, which is why it really bothers me when my roommate did that, but making a weekly trips at least, I would say, is quite important. And also, our school is kind of more focused on recycling, so always separate your cans, your bottles, your cardboard, and your regular trash. I also like to keep my shoes very organized. There's a little space in the closet area that allows you to use that bottom space where I line up all my shoes. I line up the shoes that I wear the most at the front, the most accessible space, and I place the shoes that I don't wear as much towards the side. And speaking of organization, I also have my desk drawers organized almost similarly to how my clothing dresser is. I organize the top drawer with all like my stationery things, and like one drawer is just for all my printing things and extra school supplies, like notebooks. I also am just a really clean person in general. I mean, my roommate and I talked about it at the beginning of the year during a roommate agreement, and we both said that we were people who had organized messes. But turns out that I am an organized mess, but I clean frequently, like especially when I get anxious or I'm freaking out, things like that. I like to be able to do something, so I clean a lot. And at home, I'm more of an organized mess, but places like my dorm or at camp, when I'm aware that someone is going to be constantly looking at my things, I actually stay more neat. And my next topic is decorations, which is a pretty big part, I feel like, for some people. You see all like the Tumblr designs and like designs on Pinterest of how nicely someone has decorated their dorm. Well, my roommate and I both, we always laugh about this. We slacked a lot in that department. And for me, it was because the day after I came back from camp, I had to leave right away for college. So I didn't quite have the time to print out pictures that I wanted to hang up or buy decorations that I wanted to put up. So instead, I do have pictures, but they're not as much as other people in my dorm have. And my roommate and I don't have like Christmas lights, the cliche type. I say it's cliche, but I'm totally part of that because over spring break I did buy some firefly lights and I hung them up in my bedroom at home. It actually creates a really nice aesthetic and I like it, so I understand why. But I didn't really want to do it in my dorm. I had never thought about doing that because it can be a fire hazard and sometimes people get fined for having them. But I brought some purikura pictures. There are these photo booths in Japan, and I had a bunch of those from when I went to Japan February of senior year, and I hung them up. I went to Japan over winter break of January this year, and I hung up those pictures And I have some camp pictures up there as well, but it's a very small amount, but I hang them right over my bed so I can always see them. But if you are really excited about decorating your dorm, obviously you go all out. It is your home now, basically. And if you want to liven it up more and make it somewhere that's more comfortable for you, some place where you can remember memories of your friends and your family, that is definitely something that you can do. Lastly, I just wanted to talk about school events. Especially in freshman year, I feel like attending school events are so much more important because you want to immerse yourself in your school environment as much as possible, because you're still getting acquainted, you're still getting to know what your school is like, and you want to be able to experience that from the very beginning so you know what to expect and whether or not you enjoy it. So my school, there's a huge rivalry game, a football game that everyone attends. You wear all your school gear, you warm up, you cheer on your school. It's a football game that I didn't quite understand, but I am so much about like pride, like school pride, nationality, anything. If it's like Olympics, I'm totally rooting for Japan, sometimes America, and things like that. Also, there are some fun events as well, like ice cream socials or freshman year barbecues and things like that. And you always just grab your friends and attend. It's also a really nice opportunity to meet new people. So that about concludes what I wanted to tell you guys. I hope that it was enough. I mean, I took the time to write it out on my notes here. And I think I was able to cover everything, or like the categories. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And I really hope that you guys enjoy your freshman year as well. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye guys!